Hey guys, it's Dean. Welcome to Manflow Yoga. This is a 10-minute workout to strengthen your knees. So we're going to be doing that by working on your hips, in particular, your hips and your abs. And this helps to take the strain out of your knees and puts it into the muscles that support your knees. So if you have knee pain when you're doing other workouts, if you have knee pain just in day-to-day life, it's likely because you have weakness in your hips and your core. So we're going to work on getting to the root causes of knee pain by addressing that strength there. It could be challenging, especially if you haven't worked these muscles in a while, but you don't need any yoga experience and there's no flexibility required to do this workout. No equipment required either. So just do your best and follow along. And if you like the workout at the end of it, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future workouts. All right, so taking it down to the ground. The first pose is bridge. This is a really great exercise for strengthening your glutes. These are the largest muscles in your body. And if you don't have strength here, your knees are definitely going to have some pain at some point or another. So we're going to bring your feet in toward your butt. You want to make sure that your feet are facing straight forward if you can. Start by squeezing your butt. So tense the muscles in your butt. So you're squeezing your butt, you're squeezing your glutes. If you can't do that yet, it might take some time to develop that awareness. So just keep practicing and you'll be able to do it within a few weeks. All right, so squeezing the butt, press down through your feet and drive your hips upward. So we're using the feet to press your hips up instead of using your lower back to lift. So really squeezing the glutes here, pushing down through all four corners of the feet. So you want to be pressing down through the toes, pushing down through the heels, pushing down through the ball mound of the feet. And if you can do that, if you can have good contact with the ground with your feet, that should help with the glute engagement. And that heel engagement, pressing down through the heels in particular, will help. All right, so hopefully you've got a little good muscle burn going on through the hips. Now we're going to change this up a little bit so we can focus on right to left. So I want you to just hover your left foot kind of off the ground for a couple seconds. Check in with your hips and make sure that your hips stay level as you do that. Then go ahead and plant your left foot. And now we're going to lift the right foot a couple inches off the ground. Check in with your hips. Make sure they stay level. Don't let one hip drop. And then you're just going to go back and forth like that. So kind of in this slow march with your feet. And you can even look forward and look at your hips and make sure that you're not dropping one hip as one foot goes up. Try to keep the hips level. And if you can do that, you're going to notice that your glutes on one side really fire really strongly in a good way as you're going back and forth. So we're working the outsides of the hips. We're also working the backs of your hips. And again, this is really important to strengthening the knees. If you can build strength here, that takes the pressure out of the knees, puts it into the hips where it should be. You can do this little exercise on its own for a standalone workout. You can also do this as a warm-up for any lower body focused workout, whether that's weights, yoga, or even just going for a walk. All right, and then go ahead and release down. Nice job. From here, taking it into a side plank. So side plank is one of my favorites for hips, and that's going to help reduce strain on the knees. It is difficult, so I'm going to show you some variations to build up to this. So first variation of side plank, you're going to stack your knees like this with your legs bent, plant your right forearm on the ground, and then lift your hips up in the air. Now, the goal here is to drive the hips up as high as possible. If you can do that, you're going to feel your obliques working. You're also going to feel the outer right hip working. Make sure that you are driving the hips up, okay? Now, moving on to variation 2, if you can do it, is to spread the feet, stagger your feet like you see me doing here, and then drive the hips up. If you notice that your hips kind of sag down, you can't really get them high off the ground, go back to the knees down variation. So this is level 2. And then level 3 is going to be stacking the feet on top of one another, still making sure that the hips drive up in the air. So this is, all three of these variations can be pretty challenging, but again, a lot of engagement through the hips, a lot of engagement through the abs. Now, make sure that your hips are stacked on top of one another. You want to make sure that you're not rolling back this top hip and kind of facing your chest up. Make sure that the hips and chest face directly to the outside. And then last little touch here, we're going to hug your right forearm and your foot toward one another. So squeezing the legs toward squeezing hand and feet toward one another, lifting the hips up, getting a little extra engagement, and then release down. All right, nice job. We're going to switch sides. So now left forearm is down. I'm going to go through these 3 variations again. Start with the knees stacked. Make sure that you're in a straight line here from your hips to your shoulders. And then lift your hips in the air. Now this elbow should be directly below the shoulder. If you notice that it's a little bit too high up, it could be a little uncomfortable with the shoulder. You also want to make sure that it's not too far down. So try to get that shoulder right above the elbow. And then this is a good time to, again, make sure that the hips and chest are facing straight to the outside, not rolling back this hip and facing up, but facing straight out. Okay, moving on to level 2, stagger your stance. Continue to lift this hip up. It helps to think maybe there's something sharp underneath your hip and you have to lift it up to prevent it from poking you, okay? So think about that, driving the hips up. As you do that, lots of engagement through the oblique and also through this outer hip. So that's why I really like side plank, because that outer hip engagement, so important for glute strengthening and hip stability, and that's gonna take pressure out of the knees. Level 3, stack your feet. Continue to drive the hips up. You can also hug your left forearm and your left foot toward one another, and that'll take your hips up even higher. So if you can work on building up to 30 seconds, 45, 60 seconds here, this is going to be really helpful. It is challenging, so just make sure that you're working at it. Be consistent, at least 3 times per week with these isometrics yoga exercises. All right, and release down. Hope you guys are enjoying the workout. Really quick here, if you like this workout, if you want more, if you're interested in this fitness-centric, male-focused approach to yoga, I've got a free 7-day challenge, 15-minute workouts, 7 workouts total, working on core, posture, balance, and much, much more. You can sign up for that for free. No credit card required. Link is below in the description. Back to the workout. Next up is a seated one-leg boat pose. And this is something that you probably won't see in a lot of yoga classes, but it's something that I really enjoy doing because it's going to isolate left to right and help you understand if you have weaknesses on the left side versus the right side. So you're going to sit upright the best you can, and you can start with your legs kind of out in front of you like this. This can be a challenging position to be in. So if you need to bend your knees, start like this. You can also have your hands on either side of your hips like so. Now from here, we're going to bring the right foot in a little bit. You're going to hold onto your right knee like this, and your left leg is going to come off the ground. Do your best to stay upright with your chest, and then lift your left leg up as high as possible, making sure that you're not straining through your lower back. So that can be challenging. If this is too challenging for you, if you've got some lower back pain, maybe some herniated disc issues, what you can do instead is you can sit in a chair, and I'm just going to sit on yoga blocks. So if you have yoga blocks, you can do that. Or you can sit in a chair, and then you can do this exercise instead. And that's going to be a lot easier variation. So whichever variation you've got, make sure that you're squeezing that left leg up as high as possible, and that you're using your abs and your hips to stay upright. So don't rely on this hand holding onto the knee and let your back poke out like this. Try to use that core strength to sit upright. It's challenging, but very, very effective for building hip strength and supporting the knees. All right, go ahead and relax. Now we're going to switch sides. So again, if you want to do it from the seated position, you can. That's a great option. Or if you want to do it from the ground, you can do that as well. So we're going to bring the left leg in a little bit, plant that left foot on the ground, hold on to your knee with both hands for a little bit of support. Think about pulling your ribs up and away from your hips, so getting some height here, and then kind of grounding through the hips. So we want to be able to find your center of gravity in the hips. Don't let it come back into the shoulders. See if you can find some stability in the hips and core here. And then from there, we're going to squeeze the right leg up, lift the toes up toward the ceiling, and you might only get this foot an inch off the ground. As long as you're feeling that right leg really struggling, the right hip working, that's what we want here. And keep in mind, there's going to be some imbalances from left to right. If you tend to kick with your right foot, then your right foot is going to struggle here. Your left leg is probably your dominant leg, because that's the leg that you plant with. So make sure that you're squeezing this leg up, and if it's shaking, if it's different from left to right, that's normal. You're going to have one strong side and one less strong side. Keep trying to squeeze this leg up. You can do one more breath here. We want to make it last a long time because we're trying to build strength here. We got to get to that point of muscle fatigue. And then release. All right, moving into a forearm plank. We're going to do this in a way to help build strength through your hips. So you're going to plant your forearms. Forearms are parallel to one another. Tuck your toes, coming into a plank. And then from here, I want you to lift your left leg in the air. It doesn't have to come up high, just a little bit. And then really be active through that right foot. So I want you to think about squeezing your right thigh toward the ground. Just really active through that whole right leg. We're trying to build strength in that right thigh, the right hip. And the left foot is just hovered a few inches higher off the ground. Try to breathe in and out of your nose. And then for a forearm plank, you can lift your belly button up a little bit. Don't come up so high that your hips are way off the ground, but you want to have your hips level with the shoulders here. So we've done about 30 seconds here. Let's do 5 more seconds. And then we're going to switch sides. So plant your left foot, lift your right leg up, and now focusing on that left hip. So really drive that left foot into the ground, squeeze the left thigh, keep the belly button lifted. Abs are engaged, like I mentioned before. Hips, this is the main focus of the workout, but you're also getting in a lot of ab work, and you want that. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that workout. If you liked it, be sure to like the video, leave a comment if you have some feedback or a question. And then if you're looking for more workouts like this, I do have a free 7-day challenge, 15-minute workouts to help you get a lot stronger and increase your mobility, made specifically for men. The link for that is in the description below. You can sign up for that. Give it a shot. No credit card required. If you guys want to get going with another one of these 10-minute workouts for knees, click right over my shoulder here. Thanks guys for watching. See you in the next video.